Hey y'all, it's Betsy with Happily Ever After, etc. Welcome back to another garden project. Today we are doing a quick, easy fall project that we probably should have done a month or two ago, but as you know by now, I was on my month-long cruise from Singapore to Long Beach, so fall garden projects were not top priority when I wasn't here. But since I'm back, unfortunately, most of the fall plants I typically put in, things like cabbages and pansies, annuals, are already gone from all the good garden centers and places where I like to pick them up. But I did manage to score 2 12 packs of white pansies and 1 of purple violas on the clearance cart. So they're not perfect. They're pretty darn good for clearance flowers. Plus, they were on mega sale, which always the goal. So it has been, as you can see, pretty cold the last couple nights, and my lantana is gone. Lantana gone. It is way too cold to be happy here. So we're gonna go ahead and prune it back to the very base of the plant. Lantana in our zone, I'm in an 8B down at the very bottom of Alabama, almost Florida, literally 30 minutes from Florida. But it is typically a perennial here for us, tender perennial. If we had a lot of freezes or frosts, it may not come back, but it is very hardy and is a full sun plant here. It loves the sun. It doesn't love the cold, but we don't get a lot of cold. So I'm going to prune it all the way back, get rid of all the dead, brittle, bad parts, and typically it will leaf out and come back for us beautifully in the spring. I will then fill in the space where the lantana is currently with the beautiful pansies and violas. So we're going to see how far those get us. They'll definitely fill this area. I'm not sure I need 30 plus plants in this spot, so I might do some here and some around the little ferry. I also have a little pot up in my little bicycle that had portulaca in it that is now porch gone, so we may do some there. I also have a porch planter that I just recently pulled all my geraniums out of to try to save them for next year. I brought them inside. I did a video on that, so you can check it out, even though I am still learning. So what I'm basically saying is we have a lot of places where these can go, depending on how many we have left after we fill this spot. If it's just a couple, if it's a lot, will make a difference in where they go. So start removing this lantana. I am going to be careful because I do have lamb's ear down here. This was my biggest spot of lamb's ear the last 4 or 5 years. So ever since I started this garden, and this year it just bit the dust, whereas a new one I started last year is taken off. So I think we'll just have to plant some transplants over here and restart it. So all I do is come down to the very base of the plant and I cut off the arms, leaving about 3 or 4 inches from the base of the plant. You can see all my muscari coming up from down here for the spring. I love that muscari. This is where my pink is too. Definitely have to be careful of that. That's one. And unlike perennials or a lot of, annuals that are dead, these are green down on those bases. So you do need pruners to cut them off. Unlike a lot of annuals that are dead, these will not just snap off. Ooh, that's a different look, isn't it? That looks great. All right. Give me a second. I'm gonna go take all this lantana out of the way. Excellent. So, my Silver Falls dichondra here is still doing okay, but with all the leaves and the lantana has been trying to grow out this way. So once I get the pansies in, I am going to try to arrange it more in the dirt so it can maybe root in a little better over the cold months, and we'll go from there. So, I'm going to start by taking all of my white pansies, laying them out, and seeing how many I need. All right, so I ended up with 6 or 7 here in my porch planter. I just put them up front to kind of pop up and drape over. I have a few things in here like the sweet alyssum and some daisies that will come back, but the rest I will probably fill with either cabbage or foxglove or something. They had a few things at my local nursery that would work. Not a lot, and the things they had, like the foxglove that I really want, were not the least expensive options. But for something like a porch planter that I'm going to walk past every single day coming to and from my car, that's where I want to spend my money in the winter, not necessarily in the flower beds. So even if I just got 3 foxglove and put them in the back, that would be about $30. That would make a big impact. And they'd bloom all the way through the spring. So we'll see what they have, and I'll fill it in when we get something. But at least that fills up the front. I'll get one more plant for the back and call that good. Let's go down to the garden. And for 2 packs of pansies and 1 pack of violas, I am pretty happy with this. So we did a little bit of a pansy backing, the tiny violet front. You can see I stretched out that silver falls, and hopefully over the cold months and into the spring, before that lantana gets big, this portion will anchor in and then get bigger next season. I did decide to put some in my little bicycle pot instead of in the ground, and I think that is very sweet and very happy. So that's where most of my violas ended up. I put 5 in there, 5 up front. As you can see, the silver falls here in the ground. I'm trying it as a ground cover this year. It did really well. I am very happy with it. This is 1 plant that I planted right here. You can see it has spread all the way down. Looks like this is the furthest tendrils on this side. And it should stay through the winter, giving us that nice silver color and just going around the plants, because I do have plants here all season long. And you can see all my foxgloves I grew from seed. This is the last one that bloomed this fall. But they are getting ready to go for next year. So next spring, those should come up with big, beautiful second-year stalks. And that's why I just went with pots this year, left the foxgloves in place. I think that'll be good. So definitely went with fewer fall plants than normal. I typically like to pack out this spot, the fairy spot, in front of my crepe myrtle, and the other side of the porch with pansies and cabbages. But they just weren't available this year. I was happy to get my 3 packs of pansies and violas. So it's all right. You know, I'm not exactly suffering by missing pansies to go to Singapore. So you win some, you lose some. I am very happy with my half-price clearance pansies. And they will give me just a little pop of color until the color comes back. I hope you liked this video. If you did, I will see you in the next one. Bye.